Good afternoon or good morning. Welcome to Research Methods in Wargaming. My name is Bill Egger. I'll be your instructor for the next few weeks. Today I wanted to go over a short little introduction that's going to talk a little bit about what we're going to do and how we're going to do it over the next few weeks. First off, why are we here? This course will provide an overview of graduate level research for the Capstone Project and the Master of Arts in Homeland Security Studies. Students will learn about the various methods of research in the discipline, research design, and proper formatting and writing of formal papers. Specific focus will be placed on topic development, developing a research outline, conducting a literature review, constructed an annotated bibliography, and proper citation styles that make use of the APA style. This class is formatted as a scaffolded paper. By that, we mean each week we are going to concentrate on another aspect of writing or another piece of the paper that you will be submitting that week. This is not unlike what we do in postgraduate studies at much higher levels. Dissertations are generally submitted in 20, 30, maybe 40-page chunks. Again, it's what's the easiest way to eat an elephant? One bite at a time. At a very small, at a much smaller scale, that's what we're going to do here. The first thing we're going to do, and this will be this week, is you're going to select a topic. In the next week or so, as we proceed, you will be developing a research question. You will be developing a thesis or answer to that research question. This will be followed by the literature review, which will be, as far as the size and amount, probably the largest section of your paper. This is followed by wargaming, which is then we will turn to writing a case study. And case studies are somewhat important in affirming your thesis, testing your thesis, yet they are also, generally speaking, the smaller parts of the paper. Your case study, I believe, is capped at 2 pages. Of a 300-page dissertation, most case studies are at most 15 to 20 pages. So they are essentially like the icing on the cake. It's the last thing you do before writing an introduction and conclusion, which many authors do last or go back and rewrite them, because as your research proceeds, things, of course, can change. There are revelations, and there is the process of writing the paper in which we learn different and new things. All of these, again, will contribute to the Homeland Security Analysis paper. Each bullet point here will either be combined to form a section or be a section within itself. I simply wanted to make clear that we're not going to go through 6 weeks of writing, and then with 5 days left, you're going to be tasked with writing a 10-page paper from scratch. That's not what we're doing. Again, it's scaffolded. Each one of these things is in the paper, and I'll show you how to do that. It's relatively simple. In addition to these sections, we're also going to touch on some other things. First is how to write an annotated bibliography. This will take the place of a normal works cited or normal bibliography. If you have experience in writing, you know that at the end of the work, you always list in alphabetical order and in some fashion the works that you have used. For our work, we're going to use an annotated bibliography, and we will talk more at length about what that is as the weeks to come. We will be conducting peer reviewing, or you'll be conducting peer reviewing. This is very important. When you get to upper level writing, whether it be professional or academic, the peer review process is important. It solves many problems that writers and professionals run into. You'll learn more about that again later on. And then finally, you will be allowed to submit your draft for critique before submitting it for a final grade, which means you can email it to me. I will look it over. We'll A lot of times there are mechanical issues. Generally speaking, and I don't anticipate any large deviation from this, most of the critiques I have after 7 weeks of writing are strictly structural, grammar, and things of that nature. So let's go ahead and let's get started and start thinking now about selecting a topic. And this can be very challenging for many. If I asked you, if you tell me, generally speaking, I can ask you to tell me about writing 20 pages on something, but it has to be related to, of course, the subject we're studying. But even then, it can be challenging to folks because sometimes topics can be too broad, they can be too narrow. For right now, let's go ahead and you can make it somewhat broad, but remember that it has to be a practice, organization, or event that is relevant after the year 2000. Of course, much has changed since that year, and insofar as global politics, threat, homeland security, all of that changes over time, as does the landscape of geopolitics. Another aspect, make sure there are multiple points of view. Don't select a topic that or a debate that has essentially been argued, meaning determined. For instance, airline security is a very contentious issue. There are several different aspects and several different views that people take about how we screen and who we screen before getting on airplanes. That would be an example of something with multiple views. Infrastructure security is another one. How much should we devote towards infrastructure security? Who should be responsible for infrastructure security is a very large question. While many of our utilities are privately owned by companies, of course, they have national security implications. Again, these are just two examples. There's a variety of topics out there. There is a list available on your syllabus, which is a hyperlink to the Homeland Security website of DHS. Feel free to peruse that, put some thought behind it, but understand this. This is the beginning of the process of finding the focus of your Homeland Security issue analysis. Your research question will come from this. Your thesis will come from this. Make sure that this is a topic that you have some interest in, and you're going to be compelled enough to write around 10 pages about. Now, if any time during the course you have any questions at any time, feel free to contact me via email, via cell phone. My contact information is located on the Blackboard website. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know.